Hey everyone, today we are diving into an important piece of legislation that affects businesses, consumers, and everyday transactions here in Singapore, the Sale of Goods Act. Whether you're running a business or buying goods, this law governs many of the rights and responsibilities in a sale. So what exactly is the Sale of Goods Act? Essentially, this law provides the framework for the sale of goods in Singapore, ensuring that both buyers and sellers have clear expectations about their rights and obligations. It covers key areas like transfer of property, conditions and warranties, delivery of goods, and remedies for breach of contract. It's a fundamental piece of legislation for commercial transactions and can have significant implications on day-to-day business dealings. One of the core aspects of the Sale of Goods Act is the transfer of property. In simple terms, this refers to when the ownership of goods actually passes from the seller to the buyer. Under the Act, the property in the goods usually transfers when the contract is made, unless otherwise agreed. However, if goods are not yet in a deliverable state or need to be customized, ownership might not pass until the goods are ready or the buyer has given approval. Now let's talk about conditions and warranties, which are crucial concepts under the Act. A condition is a fundamental term of the contract. If it is breached, the buyer can reject the goods and terminate the contract. For example, if the seller delivers goods that are not as described, the buyer has the right to reject them. A warranty, on the other hand, is a less essential term. If it is breached, the buyer can claim damages but cannot reject the goods. Think of it as a safety net, ensuring that certain standards are upheld without causing the entire deal to fall apart. One of the most important features of the Sale of Goods Act is the inclusion of implied terms. Even if these terms aren't spelled out in the contract, they are automatically part of the deal. Some key implied terms include implied condition as to title. The seller must have the right to sell the goods. Number 2, the implied condition as to description. Goods must match the description provided by the seller. Number 3, implied condition as to quality and fitness. Goods should be of satisfactory quality and fit for any purpose the buyer has made known to the seller. These implied terms help protect buyers and ensure that sellers are accountable for the goods that they supply. Now let's move on to delivery and acceptance. Under the Act, the seller is responsible for delivering the goods to the buyer, and the buyer must accept and pay for the goods as per the contract. But here's the thing, delivery isn't just about handing over the goods. It must be done within a reasonable time and in a manner agreed upon by both parties. Once the buyer receives the goods, they need to inspect them and accept them. Acceptance can happen in 3 ways. By telling the seller they accept the goods. Acceptance can also be done by doing something with the goods that shows ownership, like using or reselling them. Acceptance can also happen by keeping the goods without rejecting them within a reasonable time. Of course, contracts don't always go as planned. Under the Sale of Goods Act, there are remedies available if there's a breach of contract. If the seller fails to deliver, the buyer can reject the goods, sue for damages, or seek specific performance in certain cases. On the flip side, if the buyer fails to pay, the seller has the right to sue for the price, withhold delivery, or resell the goods in certain circumstances. The Sale of Goods Act is a cornerstone of Singapore's commercial law, balancing the rights and obligations of both sellers and buyers. It provides clarity and protection in transactions, making it essential knowledge for anyone engaged in the buying or selling of goods. That's all for today. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.